So, just to recap on the first episode, we spoke about allowing children to make decisions on their own with guidance, of course, to let them actually find their true self and, things that they like and not things that they were pressured into doing, from our past mistakes or our past choices or our consequences, right? The second generational curse that we are experiencing and that lingering in society has to do with the financial part, right? So you may ask, like, what's so bad about financial, generational curses? Think about it like this. And this is not me badgering your parents. This is not me, like, talking ill of them or anything, right? But how many of us, right, our parents, even if they are alive, good, how many of them have actually left us in a stabilized financial state? If you think about it, right? How much of them have actually left us in a stable financial state, right? And we have this culture that children, when it is they get older, yes, you're making sure that they go to school, you're making sure that they, get good subjects, you're making sure that they find a good job, right? But in terms of actually teaching them financial and economical growth, right? We don't pay attention to that. We just actually leave them, like, we give them the basics. We give them the basics and we know the basics. We are seeing it, right? Get a job, get married, have children, get a house, have a car, and that is it. What about investing? Right? No, they might say saving, right? They might say saving, but when it is just saving money, right? At some point in time, you're going to touch it, right? And you're not going to spend it on something more than likely, which is going to return money to you, you understand? Or profit, so to speak, right? And even in schools, like, we don't teach those things. We don't, right? If it is you look at our system, and it has been happening around the world, but if it is you look at our system, because I could only speak for Trinidad, right? We see things in America, but we are here in Trinidad living in it now, right? So this is what I'm speaking about, right? In our schools, they actually teach children to be workers. That's what we're doing. We're teaching children to be workers, right? And it don't even really have to do with much of the parents, teachers including. And no offense to the teachers and them, like, I know especially during this pandemic, it's tough, but just for information and just for insight, right? So I'm not coming at you all. Good. We create workers. We do not create creative people. We do not create entrepreneurs. And know on the corporate side of it, the competition will be real stiff out there now, boy. They'll be real stiff out there, and they don't want a stiff competition, right? Because you as an entrepreneur, you have your own business. You will want workers, right? You want somebody to work for you. You will do the work on your own, but at some point in time, you want to rock back and you want your business to run on autopilot. Of course, your autopilot is people doing the work for you, right? But at the same time, like, it got to implement those kind of criterias in school, because we just creating workers and we're not creating, like, people with a financial state of mind now, boy. So the cycle will just continue. Get married, have children, buy a car, buy a house, and you're doing all these things and you're still ending up in debt. You're still ending up in debt. Like, who you know? And I am, I'm an 80s baby, 80s, 90s baby, right? Who you know actually pay off for the house or pay off for the car or, buy everything cash? You know what I mean? Like, it getting difficult now, boy, and it's because it has been cultivated from so many decades going back that this is the end result that we are reaping right now. So, in terms of the financial part of generational curses, and again, it's not just for the parents, right? It's for teachers or any adult, so to speak, because as I mentioned in the first episode, once you are an adult, somebody's looking at you. A young child is looking at you, a teenager is looking at you, a young adult is looking at you, right? So we need to start to, like, actually implement financial classes, and marketing strategies and all these things into schools to kind of give them options. We need to give them options. Right now we're giving them limited options, and the limited options that we're giving them, it's not really working. The only way it will work for them, it only have one way those options will work for them, and that is if it is they're coming from a family of money, from a family of wealth. You understand where I'm coming from? And to be honest, you can't really blame them. You can't really blame them because they did the work. They did the work, you understand? My grandfather, and not my grandfather, I'm talking about me, I just speaking in general, right? My grandfather was a millionaire, right? And he did all the work that he had to do to ensure that his son would become a billionaire. His son take up the mantle, started to do the work on his own, keep going, keep going. The son became a millionaire. He is going to make sure that his son becomes a trillionaire, and that is the mindset that they have. And I honestly don't want to bring ethnicity or race into it, but reality, and I know how this talk playing, right? Our mentality as African descent or black people, we like to see it different, right? We get our lump sum of money, we going to buy a car, we going to buy a chain, we going to buy Jordans, and I know the song in Taboo, it's song in Taboo, but let's be real, it's still happening. Let's be real, it's still happening, you understand? So it is not taboo, it is reality. It is what's going on, you understand? So we have a lot of work to do in terms of managing money. I myself, I am, I have work to do on it as well, because there were times I get a piece of money and I buying things that I don't need. I buying things, I have a good working iPhone. I think it was a 7 at the point in time, or the 8. The 7? The 7. The phone working good. The phone is working good. You understand? The 8 come out, I rush to go and trade the thing. Get the 8. Nice. A style, Bam! The 10 come out. Nothing wrong with the 8, Never fall. Screen never crack. Nothing wrong with the 8. I rush to go and buy a 10. And look, I have this 10 here, and I know what's going on. I go and hold on to this 10 for as long as it lasts. I go and hold on to this 10 for as long as it lasts. I ain't bothering. I don't need the 11. I don't need the 12. I don't need the 13. When this phone give up, it give up. And is that. Right? But on a real, like, the financial part of it, we have to break that curse, right? We have to teach them to manage money. We have to teach them to invest and make better choices and decisions with regards to money. And don't have this lifestyle of just living in debt all the time and living in debt. It ain't making sense. It ain't making sense. Our children supposed to be better than us. That is why we are living life. That is why we are making mistakes. That is why we are growing and learning from our mistakes. So when it is we guide them accordingly, they will be 10 times the person that we were. And when it is they get older and they are adults and they have their own family, their children are going to be 10 times better than them. That is how it's supposed to be. Right now we're going backward. We're doing the backstroke. And we're not even going forward with the backstroke. We're staying stagnant. You understand? Like we can't swim. We actually drowning in reality of it. So, So as I say, I'm not coming down on the parents and I'm not coming down on the teachers, because these are things that were cultivated decades ago and we facing the consequences, so to speak, right now. But right now, as in those of us in my era, the 80s, 90s, who have children, we have the chance now to fix it. We have the chance now to fix it. We have the chance to manage money better. And yes, we are in a pandemic, but I'm just speaking in general, because at some point in time, we are going to come out of this, right? We have to learn how to manage money better, and we have to learn to teach our children to manage money better, so they, in return, they know this whole debt, they will already be in it now. So, yeah, look out for part 3, right? As I say, I'm breaking them down in different discussions, but definitely part 2, financial aspect, we need to take that in consideration as well, right? So, I will see me on the next episode.